Report live from the land of the free. Crack smoking long arms, bury niggas with success around me. It's consecutive to secular parameters. We offer up the amateurs to spread the damage and give us Jesus to comply with all the R&R. With responsibilities to ease them off. What's the code to the streets if it's my bro that succumbs to the beat? From the cold of the seats, hot shells to the prophet I am. What they sacrifice the outcast, beaming them with the Enoch. Satan is where the mind go, heaven is where you reroute. Oh, the free mount though, the slave and the batter shit. Mixing up the cut, the feet, the pain to the savages. And in comparison, they sell the card in the base. I call a spade just a leaf and play. Brag about the power without understanding vibes. Introduce you to the ride. What's a slave to a master if we both are here to die? Hold up. I want it all, you just here to charge. You could broke a life, but surely you can't sell it all. I could offer desk platter on a table with a smile I get you sitting down. Work you like I'm able to balance every hour, but produce you like I'm king. You now tuned into the Mobcast. I'm your host DRU in the building. We got special co-hosts in the building, CEO and president. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let him actually introduce his business and himself. So let introduce yourself to the people, big homie.
Hey, my name's Sergio David. Everybody call me Serge. I'm a tax accountant. I'm a paralegal, also arbitrator. CEO, KONSORTYM Pro, LLC. I've been doing it for since 2014. I'm licensed as a tax professional. I do paralegal work. Do a lot of things. I'm here to give you guys life-changing information. So, stay in tune. You're about to have a good one.
Yeah, it's about to be definitely a lot of information being shared today. The big homie definitely has a chest full of knowledge, and we're gonna get into that today. Now, before we get into it, I just want to touch on a few things. If you wasn't here last episode, I definitely mentioned that we're going to give back to the Mobcast podcast community. So we doing the three place prizes. So first place is going to be $250 on the Cash App. Second place is going to be $150 on the Cash App. Third place is going to be $75 on the Cash App. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be subscribed to the YouTube. You got to be a follower on the IG page. And we're going to put the rules and regulations under the description of this episode. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically it. That's the first thing. Second thing is I want to shout out this is a black business spotlight shout out to www.adoremetees.com @adoremetees on IG. Next episode, we're going to have her products here. We're going to get into her business and et cetera, but she's definitely impacting the black community, you know what I'm saying, with her wear and her things and what she got going on. So we definitely gonna put that on deck for the next episode. Now, this is episode 7. So obviously episode 10, we're gonna have them giveaways. So stay tuned. Now, Mobcast podcast, what we do here is we give information and you do what you want with it. You know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of things that we don't know. You know what I'm saying? Now, Serge here, you know what I'm saying, is a person who knows a lot of things that we don't know. You know what I'm saying?
And do a lot of things
that we don't know. You know what I'm saying? So he has a wealth full of information. And when we talking about the generational wealth and legacy of the black family, both collectively and individually, what is the first thing that you would say is necessary for the growth of the black union, of the black community? You know what I'm saying?
We need to educate ourselves. We need to stop saying that haven't been taught by the school system, by the enemy government. The same way Marcus Garvey put it. We need to educate ourselves, teach ourselves. We educate ourselves. I have situations where, things in life wasn't too good, it was rocky, but, I delved into some information, and it benefited years down the line, So despite what you still got to do it. You still got to put in the work. You can't just have information just sit on the shelf. You don't do nothing with it. You just as bad as the person that ain't got nothing with it.
That's a fact.
The number one thing is for us to educate ourselves and stop complaining about not being taught by someone else.
Well, a lot of people will be like, will sit there and be like, oh, okay, yeah, educate ourselves, whatever the case may be. But, yo, there's so much information out there. People will get kind of confused, or people will get lost in the sauce or lost in the light. So one of the first things about wealth and legacy is finances.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's economics. So we went through, as a matter of fact, our last episode was touching on traditional schools versus trade schools. We just giving a piece of that information, you know what I'm saying, to forward the black wealth ideology. But now we're talking about certain things that you could do with the regular things maybe that you don't know that people are making money off of you. You know what I'm saying? So let's start off with the most basic thing, you know what I'm saying? Because you are a future APA. I'm saying you've been dealing with tax law. You've been an arbitrator. You've been a part of a lot of big business deals. You know what I'm saying? Both individually and in commerce. So let's talk to the people. Let's let the people know, like, basically, like just the baseline of information as far as like improving their economics for 2020. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So give the people something like just a basic type of knowledge, and let's build from there. So if somebody wanted to increase their bank account, like just let's say $1,000, just doing something simple, what would be kind of like the baseline information that you would get to people?
Just to put $1,000.
Just $1,000. Let's start there. You know what I'm saying? But obviously, the information you're gonna give is something worth more. Right. So just a baseline information to put more money in their bank account for 2020.
Being that this year's about to close anyway, so taxes is about to come up. But one way we could do it is based on tax strategy is this country is based on debt. It's based on loss. So with me, I got a few companies. So what I do is I either do one way or the other. So with one company, I establish a loss. So technically, I'm in debt to one of my companies. So at the end of the year, I write off that loss. The banks is taking that minus and they're trading it. So it's important to have a business banking account.
So when you say the banks is taking that minus and trading it, what do you mean by that specifically?
Accounts receivable.
Accounts receivable.
So the money that come in as a deposit is a credit. Anything that we receive in our account is a credit. So when you have a bank account, they acting as our intermediary. So when you get credited on your bank account, they give you the credit. You notice anytime you take money out the account, you always get charged, whether it's wire fee, ATM, debit fee.
Yep.
So when money's coming out the account, that's a debit. So anytime you're getting accredited on the account, that's how you create the taxable event. So I do a situation where I have a business banking account, get all the paperwork, contract. So you set up a dollar amount. So somebody's gonna have to owe somebody. So you set a loss.
Okay, so you set that loss.
That's one side of the books.
Right.
But in this country, it's based on double entry accounting. So everything that you technically receive as a credit is a debit. But in the school system, they're not going to teach us this, though.
Okay.
We're going to get to that as we go on. Because you only reporting one side of the books as a cash receipts, disbursement method.
As far as regular?
Yes.
Okay.
Everybody, the normal human being, they throw away the receipt. He don't care about the receipt. Don't even know he already threw away his tax credit.
Right.
So you just threw money. Every time you throw away your receipt, you just threw money in. You just left money on the table. That's your credit. So then when you start reporting proof, and if the IRS audited you, they're gonna want to see proof of your records. You just threw away all your proof. You don't do nothing with your bank statements.
Right.
So the bank statement shows the credits coming in and the deposits coming out.
Right.
We could get credits for that because the bank is acting as our intermediaries. Technically, they work for us, but they flipped us around with the school system to make it look like we work for them. And especially as blacks, we spend the most money.
Right.
So it's important they do that to us. So we keep the money recycled amongst them. So they collect the money from us taxable and then deposit it into their charities. We don't get no credit for that. We don't learn nothing about equity. We have equitable rights to all that. But we're not going to be taught that in the school system.
Right, you mean the money,
public, yeah.
Right, the money spent and the money credited.
Exactly. So the money spent is called payable. Accounts payable. The other side that's accredited is the accounts receivable. double entry accounting. It's two sides of the books. But they got us reporting taxes on one side. So now look, I'm an accrual-based taxpayer.
Okay.
Let's say suppose me and you contract for $100,000. You under the cash method. You can't even write the $100,000. You can only report the money that exchanged hands. Whereas me, I'm an accrual-based taxpayer. I write off the whole $100,000.
Okay, so now tell the people how they can put themselves in position to, let's say going into taxes, because there was so much information there. I'm trying to break it down. Let's say going into the taxes. You know, obviously this information is new, so most people don't keep their receipts.
That's
So,
what I said.
Let's start there.
That's why, you know, I'm being nice.
Yeah.
That's what you
You
call
don't
a
gotta
mystery.
be though. You know what I'm
So you
saying?
gotta get real now. You know,
Yeah.
I'm Serge, so I'm gonna keep it real.
Right.
In law, we're labeled as like civil little mortals, civilly dead.
Okay.
So through your actions, you do certain things. In the mainstream, we do certain things that put us in that category.
Right.
This is why when we go to the courtroom, traffic ticket, whatever, divorce court, we don't get no respect. You know what I'm saying? We're
Right.
a bunch of miscreants.
Right.
We run around with our heads cut off. We spend the most money. So we're gonna prove that those who spend the most, make the most.
This is a
So
big
when
fact.
they reverse our mindset into thinking that, so when taxes come around, everybody's like, yo, I ain't got no income. Like, I be saying, they like, oh, really? How much money you spend? They be like, oh, yes, y'all spent over damn near 100,000. That's your income. Now they get stuck now.
Right.
Like, all right, you got a business too.
Right.
You don't even know that. Anytime you make a deposit to your business banking account, you gave your business a loan.
Right. True indeed.
Matter of fact, just like when you work a 9 to 5, you never got paid. You gave the company a loan because you filled out that W-4.
That W-4. Yeah.
So
that I
they
know.
need your
Yeah.
credit. So based on the amount that you agreed to get paid, they giving you the credit based on the lien. So anytime you endorse that check, you just gave the company a loan. So you never been compensated as a shareholder. So we got rights to equity. But see, that's why I say we're gonna stick to the basics. Because a lot of things in details is not
Yeah.
really for the
It's
mainstream.
part. You know, there's a lot of different parts to it, and obviously we're gonna have to have you back multiple times.
and this come back
because there's a lot of different parts to it. But we got to start with the basics. So that's an important factor that you said, that you didn't claim your equity. You know what I'm saying? That when you signed the W-4 over, that basically you're giving your services
Withholding credits.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. You
So
gave the company a loan when you
yeah,
passed the check.
basically you gave that
Direct
company a
deposit.
loan.
Gave the company a loan.
Exactly. So now, with that being said, how do the people flip that or take back as much money as possible? You know
First, you
what I'm
got to
saying?
do your education and realize that you're a shareholder.
Okay.
And you have entitlements by equity.
Okay. Explain
Do
that.
your own
Explain that.
research. Equity means you got common law and you got the equity. But something happened with these crackers when they did some shit. You know, shit is different with these crackers. I'm gonna keep it funky. These crackers, they did some shit.
Right.
So that equity and common law shit, they smashed it off. They came up with some new shit. It ain't new, but some maritime admiralty shit. This applies to everything.
Right.
So this applies to everything. In 1966, there was a merger in law. So they merged maritime and admiralty into the FRCP.
What's the FRCP?
Federal Rules of Civil Procedure.
Okay.
Every court case situation is civil, whether you're in a criminal case or not.
Yeah, true
If
indeed.
it wasn't civil, you wouldn't be paying fines or penalties
Yep.
on these criminal court cases. Those are civil penalties that accrue from a criminal charge. You understand?
Yeah, true indeed.
So when you're in the criminal case, it's still civil by nature. So when they merged, this was 1966. And if you really do the math within the communities, that's when they started flooding the drugs.
Right. Okay.
Because this is how you turn the Chihuahua into a pit bull. Because it got worse over the years. So what happens is, person come to court. This applies to finance too. Person comes to court. He's looking for common law rights. That's when, and the equity, like, damn, you know, so you're like, damn. So you expected to be treated fairly by law. Nah, because they got you on the other side of the law. And you're like, damn, what happened to all the... Because that's what happened. All the equity and common law got thrown out the window. So now maritime is based on the law of the seas. So what time is it now? Like, well, a little after 10 Atlantic time, right? Atlantic Ocean. So the laws of the navigational waters is also extensive upon land. So now, there it is right there. Now everybody's under that maritime jurisdiction bullshit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So now, they use this public school system. You gotta go right back to that. So, to program your mind, public food system, into putting the money back into the system. Reshuffling the credits, put the money back into them. Because once we figure this out, we spend the most, we make the most.
True indeed. We're the 10th we're the 10th richest or 10th wealthiest country in the world. We already said that a couple times.
You said this country?
No, black America. The 10th wealthiest country in the world. You know what I'm saying? $1 trillion of spending power. So obviously, if you spend the most, you make the most.
We are number
You know what I'm
one, man. I feel that. We're number one.
Right.
Because these companies is collecting off us. So if we spending the money, million, who's collecting it?
Well,
So
that's
you
true.
got a payer. On the other side, you got a recipient.
Now, on top of that, we're the second largest export. Black business or black entertainers, as a matter of fact, black music, black entertainers is the second biggest export in America.
Exactly.
I don't think people even know that.
People don't even know that. And hip hop is the number one, like, intellectual form
form of
and
music.
You're getting the whole breakdown.
In the world.
In the world.
Right. Now, with that being said, we already know that obviously that we have a collection of talents, and our collection of talents is not being properly paid.
We're not being compensated.
We're not being compensated properly.
I'm glad we're into this.
Right.
Because
True
the
indeed.
artist especially is getting robbed.
Oh, we know that. But now we want to break it down to, initially just in your life, what can you do to obtain the funds or at least start obtaining some of the funds that are rightfully yours?
As an artist?
No, let's not even go there first.
Oh, all right.
Let's go into, just regular living. You wake up, you get your 95 and all that. You get up,
All
boom,
right.
you go to work.
Mm-hmm.
So
Let's start from the working standpoint.
Yeah, you go to work, you go home.
Then we're going to take it to the entrepreneur
Right, true
standpoint.
indeed. So that's, we
All right,
want
so this is what the worker needs to do.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
The worker needs to keep tabs on everything that's coming in, put everything on the spreadsheet. Deposits, total, everything that came into your account, put it on the spreadsheet. Month by month, January through December. Then you do a separate spreadsheet on the withdrawals. You don't add them up together. You add them up separately. Then you add up the wire fees, all the other stuff separately. So now, because these are multiple different accounts that the banks are setting up under your name because they are intermediary. They work for us. You see, the problem is we running around here chasing the amplifier like it's the generator, not knowing that we're the generator ourselves. These things are just amplifiers. So then, by you being able to keep track of all these stuff, so now you have verifiable proof of income. The banks ain't gonna give us no loan. Equifax and everybody working against us. Once you take a student loan out, a mortgage, foreclosure, auto loan, they're gonna shoot your credit score. So you're gonna have to figure out some backdoor way to get money.
Well, a lot of people will figure.
credit.
A lot of people will figure that a home, you know what I'm saying, or a car, you know what I'm saying, is the American dream. When really and truly, if it's not used appropriately, it's actually another form of debt. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to getting a big business loan, you know what I'm saying, and they don't like to give it up to us anyway. You know what I'm saying? You know that. So
I'm not me personally. I don't even look for no loans.
yeah,
man.
true indeed. But we're
I
just
don't look for
talking.
no
We're just
loans.
talking
Yeah, I don't look for no
in
loans.
a whole sense of things.
Yeah.
And as far as banking per se, you know what I'm saying? So
These guys don't even know what banking is, bro. Like people that work in the banks, they don't even know
oh
what
no,
banking
of course
is.
not. Just like police don't know
It's
what
like- it's
policing
like- it's
is.
like-
You know what I mean?
Yeah. They don't even know what banking is. It's
Word.
sad. It's sad.
So when you're dealing with things, because a lot of things are looking at this, a lot of people are looking at this, and they may be listening, but you're firing so much. It's like, oh shit, the fuck, you know what I'm saying? So one thing that I will say is, as far as an individual or a person is concerned, in trying to break down their life to the simplest
Yo,
form.
listen, you hear me, bro? Those who
com-
have ears, let them hear. Those who have eyes,
That's a
let them
fact.
see.
That's a
Because let me
fact.
tell you something,
That's a
bro.
fact.
Out of 100 people, as long as I could reach 2 or 3, I mean, I love the 100,
Right.
but as long as 2 or 3 get it,
That's
so be
true.
it.
This is true.
So be it, because you can lead the horse to the water.
Yeah,
doesn't
but
mean
you
it's gonna
can't force
drink.
the water to force the
understand?
horse to drink the shit.
So let's just go. Let's just let the information flow and just simple as that. If it's over their head, it's over their head. They'll wake up tomorrow. They might catch it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh shit.
Because I know you're trying to simplify things.
Well, I mean,
but we avatars, bro.
Well,
You know
that's
what I'm
true.
saying?
That's true.
Let's give it to them.
Now, as far as you said, break down the accounts. You know what I'm saying? Receivable, payable, transactions. Continue from where you was at.
Yeah, so pretty much you just keep a spreadsheet of everything. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you can be able to have a proof of everything. So when you write it off, you write it off. Because a lot of people, when they get ran down by the IRS, they get scared by an audit. Like certain information, I love to share. Like I did work for people. You know, I went above and beyond for people. I filed 1099s for people. IRS might ask them one simple question, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, Serge, he filed the 1099s for me." You know, as a licensed guy, I'm not supposed to be doing that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know how we got different type of crowds out here.
Right.
But the name of the game is to have proof of what you putting out there. So everybody just know about one side of the account. You know what I'm saying? But don't know how to really report it. You see?
Right. They don't teach you taxes.
See,
in
the way this new tax law is,
Right.
You're not gonna get away with that dependent stuff. You know, I used to put in with 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Them days is
4 or
over.
5 kids and
I
all
like
that
it like
shit.
that. I like it like that.
Right.
It's not for the people like me and others who know how to get the paperwork through. We get more respected. You know what I'm saying?
So as far as that's concerned, so now we get into the paperwork whole situation where you keeping
But
all
listen,
your receipts.
Yeah.
Right.
But listen to me. You still gotta have the balls to
Right.
file the paperwork.
Well,
Because look, sometimes, like even for myself, like I'm not even gonna put my dollar amount, but I just flew my return, and I'm gonna be real true. I can't even put the number out there.
right.
It's gonna make people drop, and it's safety purposes. But I'm protected. You know how we do already. But
Right.
but it's all about, once again, like for example, from the worker standpoint though. Before we get to the entrepreneur,
True indeed.
all right, see, so you get paid every Friday. And normally with jobs, it's flat rates. So you keep a report on that. Let's say it's simple, $1,000 a week, bi-weekly. All right, so you report it bi-weekly. You're writing it down, spreadsheet, because when you write the whole thing, if they ask that question, they want to see proof, supporting documents to show forth what you're reporting. You got all that at your disposal. So, hey, let's go. You know what I'm saying? And you get cashed out.
Right. But you know what's crazy?
But it's deeper than just the cash out, though. You got to be at good standing, though, because this don't work for just everybody. This is not for everybody.
When you say good standing, explain that to the people.
Like if you owe like a foreclosure, you're not in good standing. If you owe, like you get repoed.
So you mean credit wise?
Yeah, credit wise, your credit messed up. And technically, a lot of time we paying penalties. It's because we never really report the other side of the books, because you were tax delinquent. This country is based on double entry accounting, and I would suggest everybody look it up. Double entry accounting, 2 sides of the books. So, see, suppose you owe $5,000. On the book, on your side, it says you owe $5,000, right? See, suppose you pay $2,000. It's gonna show a running balance of $3,000. But these dudes are so basic that you could send something that don't have to necessarily be cash, but it could be in the form of a financial instrument and clear the $3,000. Now, me as an accountant, I'm gonna just run the running balance of that $3,000, zero.
Right.
And I just put it on the balance on my balance sheet and saying that the expense was paid.
Right.
But that's on another level though. But the whole purpose is just keeping track of your expense. Stop throwing away your receipts. Like, come on,
Well,
like, yo, it's like, yo, I'm saying, and think about it. All receipts is made out of wax paper. So that tells you that it's some type of security right there.
Right. Well, I mean, people don't know this though. People don't learn that.
But don't pick up for them.
No. We're not.
Listen, those are the same people. Those are the same people that be like, oh, I was
Right.
never taught this stuff.
Right, but
Because listen, ignorance is no excuse. I don't know. It's no excuse
True
in the
indeed.
law. And mind you, if there wasn't no library in every county, you feel me? Everybody's due process will be violated. So
Right.
we have to take the time out and educate ourselves.
well, this is true, and that's what
You know what I'm
Mobcast.
saying?
That's what Mobcast
We
podcast
talking about the solutions.
is for. You know what I'm saying? Where we talk about the solutions. You know what I'm saying? As y'all can see, the God is very passionate. So as far as bringing the solutions to the table, that's definitely what we do. But a lot of people will come to it with, this is not what they learned. So, obviously you got to do your research. That's the first and foremost. And on top of that is practicality. And you did touch on it before when you was like, yo, listen, you gotta have pretty much the fortitude to be able to stand in your square, or know that you know what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? So that is definitely one of the things that you gotta do if you're trying to get involved in this situation at all. You know what I'm saying? So keep your receipts. You know what I'm saying? Know your accounts payable, your accounts deductible, etc., etc., etc. So that's for the common folk. And you know what I'm saying? He's going to be available. We're going to put his information up so you can talk to him, so you can build with him, because he definitely has a lot of information as regards to that individually. Now, business-wise, for an entrepreneur, you know what I'm saying? When we talking about how entrepreneurs or artists don't get their fair share or their fair due because of the way
ignorance.
Right, the way ignorance is set up and the way money is thrown around, though. Because when you put into a certain situation, they put a number in your face. You feel like it's kind of like being at a job. You know what I'm saying? Same thing. It's like, okay, you feel like you're worth this number, but you're really worth more. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead and talk to the people about as far as running your economics as an entrepreneur, especially an artist, because an artist is an entrepreneur. I don't know if people know that.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah, he's a slave.
Well, he's supposed to be an entrepreneur.
He's a slave to the label.
You know what I'm saying? Well, a lot of artists are not on labels too. Well, they're not.
But how much of them is really cashing out?
That's what I'm saying. As far as that's concerned.
Because I'm saying, like, I be seeing all this YouTube. Nobody really cashing out on those royalties, man.
Right, but a lot of them don't know what royalties are.
Man,
Yeah, you know what I'm
royalties,
saying?
man. Everybody heard of royalties.
They know what they heard.
Listen,
What
man,
they heard.
man,
What
stop
royalties?
picking up for them, Drew.
They heard what.
Drew.
Hold on.
Listen,
They hold.
let me let the information flow, bro. Let me let the information
They
flow.
know what royalties are, but they don't know what royalties are.
You gotta let me let the information flow.
Right.
Everybody heard of it.
True
we
indeed.
got the phone. Do right on Google, and we take the time out and look it up ourselves. That doesn't mean you're gonna know how to do it right away.
True
we gotta
indeed.
take the time out and do it. You know what I'm saying? Yo, you got YouTube and all these other companies. You putting your videos out there. YouTube and them is killing off the dividends and the royalties.
That's a fact.
What we
So
doing?
how do you monetize? Let's say
that's too much for over here, bro.
right, but
That's
how
too
do you
much,
how
bro.
do you
That's too much.
monetize?
Monetize is too much for this.
How do you
social airwaves.
monetize a YouTube?
You got to listen. That information is too, but all I gotta say is the same thing like I said with the you gotta get track of all those accounts, and they're not even giving up their tax IDs neither.
Who, YouTube? Why is that? Why are they not giving up their tax IDs?
I don't know. I don't know. They tough. YouTube is tough. They acting like you trying to do some type of scam on them or something like that.
Nah, that most quote unquote big companies will act like that anyway.
But when you
know
don't
what I'm saying?
report it, it's an abandonment though.
But you don't report the
other side of the books is an abandonment.
Right.
So they come in as nominees and report your credits that you didn't report.
So as far as an artist with their royalties, as far as let's say a lot of these mainstream artists that we know that are on labels, and you know what I'm saying, a lot of them will sign away their distribution rights and sign away their
With
publishing
ASCAP and all that.
Yeah, they'll sign it all the
ASCAP,
way.
BMI.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you're an artist, I hope you know what we're talking about. If you're an artist, but if you're not, you know what I'm saying? That's basically saying that you're signing away your whole life. You're basically working for nothing. So
slave.
right. So now, let's say you're an artist. You know what I'm saying? You're in the game. You didn't sign no deal. Not yet. You didn't sign no deal.
Independent artists.
You're independent artist. You didn't sign no deal. You got all the rights.
All
Per
right, so
se.
I'm answering your question, man. I told everybody years ago, people that I know, yo, set up a business banking account. Everybody with labels. Everybody that I know. Not one person that I know set up a business banking account on the record label. So that's where it starts.
Set up a
These
business.
cats
banking
want to be managers and do all this stuff. They don't got business banking accounts. Their labels is not even incorporated. Like it's like I don't know, a bunch of miscreants. Like, but at the end of the day, everybody rap. I'm bored by it. Like, man, as much people I know that rap and got nobody even got a business banking account on their labels. That's the most important thing. You gotta keep track of where your money is going, because in the music industry, you gotta spend a lot of money. So if you're a manager, you gotta pay an artist. You might be an artist yourself and own the label. So you gotta figure out a way You got to be creative on paying yourself.
How to maneuver that? How to maneuver that
And
money?
a lot
to
of people
yourself.
don't even know how to do that. The
Right.
bigger labels know how to do it. The smaller labels don't. That's when people start asking for business loans. But if you know how to do it,
You are your business loan. You know what I'm saying? All right. So, with that being said, as far as the artists that are dead in the water, quote unquote, dead in the water, you know what I'm saying? If there is a way to improve their situation, what is it?
I'll leave them dead. Let the dead bury the dead. I'm sorry. I'm not here to be like Jesus, bro. The same you I understand the saying. You feel me? You help the dead, they're going to get you stoned to death. It's the same people. Let the dead bury the dead. You know what I'm saying?
All right, true indeed. True indeed. True indeed.
Man, I'm keeping it funky.
You supposed. You supposed.
You know what I'm saying?
All right, so we talked about as far as moving the money, you know what I'm saying, as far as, let's say, a regular 9 to 5. And I hope y'all taking notes of what he's saying as far as, like, specific things.
All right, but look. I'm sorry. Look. When you said artists dead on the water, you talking about, like...
Artists that are signed to a label.
Oh, yeah, they stuck on that contract. Cause same way how it happened with the Locks in them. They didn't get jerked. They were stuck on that contract with Puffy and them. So it's based on how that contract goes. That's why it's funny how I said let the dead, because if they stuck on that contract, they gotta own up to that contract.
Now that's a good point. Now let me give you the alley-oop for the people, right? Now a lot of people don't know when the law is talking about persons, they're really talking about corporations.
Individual corporations.
Individual, right? True indeed.
That's what the 14th Amendment was passed.
True indeed. Now, when you bind yourself to a contract, that's what you're actually getting sued for. You're getting, you're civilly liable before, or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, we was talking about off the air about driver's licenses, and a driver's license is actually a contract. If you don't know, you know what I'm saying? If you don't know, that's what it is. You feel me? I'm about to let him go, y'all. You know what I mean? You feel me? But I'm about to let him go get it. But hold on. But yo, a driver's license is actually a civil contract. Everything that you get involved with when you're talking about anything, commerce, economics, anything, it's a contract between you and said individuals or persons. So get into that real quick. You know what I'm saying? Also get into some of the things that, because you got some paperwork that I don't know if you want to share or not. Some of the things that they do.
All right.
Under your name of said contract.
Yeah.
All right.
Contract law, right? It's governed by Article 2 of the
And not to interrupt you, God, but one of the viewers on the live, I have a question for you.
All right.
All right, but go ahead, do your thing.
Article 2 of the Uniform Commercial Code is the entire manuscript with this contract law. The DMV, Department of Motor Vehicles, in some states they go by the RFV, but the same people who issue you your driver's license, your non-state driver's license, the non-driver's license, etc., they're opening up international trust funds under our name. You don't notice when you pay the ticket for the court, for the traffic tickets, and then when you get the actual transcript on it, you're gonna see police benevolent funds, all types of stuff. But little did you know that the DMV took the money that you paid them, which is an investment contract. So that mortgage and all that other stuff we sign in the auto, even the DMV, is an investment contract. Mm-hmm. So the investors take that and put it into a trust fund. DMV, unfortunately, is dealing with an international trust fund. I got the proof right here. It's too sensitive, but serious stuff under my name, you know. I got a driver's license and a non-state driver's license, and there's an inception date, net assets, and all that stuff in it on the driver's license. One of them, they connected with Fidelity. One of them is a capital appreciation fund, and the driver license itself is an international value fund. So that's dealing with the IMF, International Monetary Fund. This is what the DMV is doing with all of us, and not everybody's value is the same. So even in the court case, like when they make you plead guilty, or you go to trial and get found guilty, so when the court clerk make you stamp that document, they're gonna turn that over to and convert it into a municipal bond, and they're gonna be able to get tax exemptions based off that too. So that's what they do of every court case. You understand? Every court case, divorce court, civil court, whatever it is.
Which is why I always say the courts is not the way to go.
So they're gonna take the guilty plea, the guilty verdict. You see, in Brooklyn, Kings County, they're gonna take it to 210 Jerome in the street, and they're gonna convert that into a municipal bond. And then it's gonna become a mutual fund, and there it is right there.
So with all of that being said,
So they taking our name and our number, date of birth, and our social. They're using our credits. We're paying the dollar amounts on these investment contracts, and they're sitting there making us pay the tab on the penalties. Right. It's just like me inviting you and say, look, let's go out to Jamaica somewhere. Oh yeah, we got all types of prizes. All right, you get all the prizes, but you stuck with the tab. But I leave you behind, I leave you stuck with the tab. That's what's going on.
Right.
So they taking out, especially DMV, the paperwork right here.
So with all of that going on, so basically,
it's not even just that though. Immigration,
right? Everything,
birth certificates,
everything.
Credit card numbers, account numbers, prison like booking case numbers, marriage license, everything. And the sad thing about it, we have equitable rights to all that.
That's what I'm saying.
And then you still want to send people bill and everything. Like you still want to.
You know how this goes.
You still repossessing people cars.
You know how.
That's oppression. See, this is why everybody. You see, and this is where the generational wealth and legacy comes.
That's where I was gonna get to.
That's what I'm saying. Let me let the information flow though, bro. Because it's gotta come to a point where the man and the woman gotta understand that your problem is my problem. You saying? I gotta help you, help me. So we can alleviate the problems, because we all have a common denominator. We just assessing different numerators. You know what I'm saying? The Hasidic Jews do that. They understand community. A lot of different ethnicities understand that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to get here and turn this into a game of crayons. You know what I'm saying? But we're the only people talking this crayon stuff. Black, white, blah, blah. It's one human race, multiple nationalities. You know what I'm saying? But we have to educate ourselves, because ain't nobody else is gonna do it for us.
Well, that's what the show is.
Black man has to come together first. For one thing, we have to come together. The gangsters, the geniuses, everybody. The gangsters, the geniuses, geeks, whatever. Black men, we all come together. That's just like how they said in that song between Kendrick and Jay Electronica. No state court, none of that. We put our cards on the table and we move from there. Until we identify that, we're gonna be still, be the laughing stock. You know what I'm saying? Because our women barely respect us. We still got a lot of good ones out there, but you know what I mean. That's another conversation within itself. But we got to be able to make these pivotal moves, because as the man, we set the standard. You know what I'm saying? We set the standard on what we feel civilization should be like, because we got to protect the women and the children. You understand?
True,
but it starts with us, because we got to protect that. We still got to protect the women and the children. That's what generational wealth is about. You understand?
Right. So when
having the right woman. You understand?
True indeed. That's very, very, very important.
And you got to have the right woman. So then, when I push seeds through, you feel me? All this wealth that we talking about accumulated, we pass through, because there's something that these Jewish people found called GSTs, called generation skipping taxes. So the taxes that's supposed to allegedly fall on our sons don't really fall on our sons. It goes to our grandchild. And then, by then, it's discharged. It's not even going to reach that point. You know what I'm saying? So that's the point we need to be at. But we see, but like I said, to me, I think it's far-fetched. I used to have more hope. I don't think it's going to happen. But it's about the 2 or 3.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Amongst 100.
That's what I'm saying.
So the 2 or 3.
2 or 3 turn into 6, turn into 10.
That.
You know what I'm saying?
But remember, it's not about the numbers. It's really about the 2, 3. Because The 500 is the extension of that 2 or 3. You understand? You need 2 or 3 masterminds to come together. Then y'all fuse. You create a 4th element. The 4th element is the fusion of the 3. So if it's 3 of us, we create a 4th element. That's the 4th entity, the fusion of all 3. So all that debating and disagreeing stuff, you gotta go out the window. If you a mastermind, and I respect you for being mastermind, you put your pieces together, I put mine's, and then we just, boom, and hit the gas. Because we sitting here talking too much on yellow lights. See, I be doing moves.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So, you know what I mean? One of the reasons why you here is to discuss the moves, you know what I'm saying? And, you know what I mean, to, you know, initiate or to inspire the 1, 2, 3, or 10 people. Because you'd be surprised what people are willing to do when they have the right ignition key. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, as far as, because you got into the generational wealth and the legacy. Generational wealth and legacy, basically unity. You know what I'm saying? So what are some of the things that you have been doing as far as, and you do a lot, so I don't know what you willing to share. So what are some of the things that you've been doing as far as in your own individual outlook as far as dealing with some of these unclaimed equities, and some of your clients? You know what I'm saying? Because one of the things about Serge that you don't know, or you do know, or I don't know if we discussed it in the beginning, is he has a lot of people who come to him, and he's maneuvered their financial, what can we say, dilemmas or difficulties. You know what I'm saying? And he got them out of significant, what's the adjective?
Financial
distress.
Yeah, distress.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So what are some of the things? Yo, you know what's crazy? You know what I'm saying? I know Serge, 20 years now, some shit, right? So, you know what I mean? This is my man, you know what I mean? So, you know, there's a lot of things that you got to go to him personally about. So this is why we're going to leave his information so you can get to him, so you can build with him, so you can really, really pick his brain, because being on an episode or 2 or 3 is not going to suffice for the knowledge, wisdom, understanding, culture, freedom, power, refinement, you know what I mean, good orderly direction, his build and his bone, how he puts things to action. You're not going to get that with this. So you got to see him personally. So we're just trying to pick and choose things a little bit, but obviously we're not going to, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? We're not going to get to all of it. But what are some of the things that you've been doing or you can do for your clients? Not can do, because I know you've done it. You've been doing for your clients to kind of maneuver their financial difficulties or move them into a better economic understanding to where they can position so they could improve their status, so they can get to the point. So they can get to the point where you saying like, yo, listen, you can come together as masterminds, especially the men. You know what I'm just saying? So we can maneuver our community, so we can make it easy for our families, for our women and our babies. You know what I'm saying? So what are some of the things you've been doing as far as for your clients to move them in that direction?
I be getting rid of their student loans. So that's my favorite one. Be getting rid of student loans.
And we know student loans, some predatory loans, yo.
Yeah.
Predatory loans. But
it's just based on technically it's an investment contract, as I said earlier. So, you know, you go to school, you're investing in your education. So, you know.
Got another couple questions.
Yeah.
Pardon me. But go ahead,
so we're going to start getting to the questions pretty soon.
Yeah. Do you think?
Mm-hmm. So I get rid of student loans. I got many different ways of doing it, from like sometimes based on the refund amount. Student loan might come out of nowhere and be like, all right, this is how much, or they might just come and grab the rest.
Like they do that a lot as far as tax refunds, you mean, right?
Situations where even from the private side, doing something administrative, we zero out the entire balance to a point where we take it off the credit score as well. So we got different methods with that. Also, foreclosures. There was a woman who lived in KONSORTYM, the floors. Something happened this year. You know, I had a little situation. I came
right.
Whatever. Then she had a situation. and we stopped the sale, whatever. She don't get no statements neither.
On the house, you mean?
Yeah, she
Okay.
was foreclosed. She don't get no statements. That ain't the first foreclosure or mortgage that I. There was another college kid. He was a student athlete. My boy told me, yo, he got me. You know what I'm saying? He never paid me on it. But like I said, love is love. You feel me? But I did something. But yo, the dude who I did it for, he disappeared. You know, I got the Facebook thing, but he thanking me and stuff. You feel me? He went to Penn State Scholar, you know? You feel me? So they was gonna kick him out of school his senior year.
Penn State. University of Penn State. Okay.
Yeah. They was gonna kick him out of school because he had enough to pay his college tuition, everything. I did some paperwork for him. Boy was able to graduate. You know what I'm saying? But you would actually think, you know, someone would actually, yo, thanks, chime in. Like, you know what I'm saying? So despite doing certain things for people, you know, you don't really get that. You don't get the reciprocating factors too. You feel me? So auto loan, another thing, tax liens.
Another predatory loan.
Yeah, just like somebody owe the IRS.
Right.
I get rid of those too.
Another predatory loan. He gets rid of predatory loans.
Yeah.
That's one thing he does.
And I'm currently by like next month or so, I'll be a CPA.
Right.
I already got the first. There's three level requirements, so I got the first level complete.
Okay.
So now I gotta complete the exam, and then once I complete the exam, I'm gonna pass the exam. So.
But yeah, that's.
Then I register it, and then good to go.
On
I'm gonna
and
do it in
poppin'.
New York though, because New York is the financial headquarters of the world.
Right. And New York, a lot of our people in New York need a mind. You know what I'm saying?
They simple-minded,
a mind like yours. You feel me? You know what it is, God? I'm going to say it's more so, and we touched on it before, me and you personally in the past, and I've touched on it on this show, is there's a certain mentality for war. You know what I'm saying? That is prevalent in other communities. You know what I'm saying? But it's not prevalent in ours. Like when we sit down and we build on this podcast and we talk about black communities and we talk about you know, our women, our babies, the men, etc. On no matter what particular or no matter what paradigm you on, it all takes a certain type of, like you said, a certain type of unity, but at the same time, we're continuously at war from multiple fronts. So there's a certain type of mentality that's needed for that. So obviously some people have it. Some people haven't in other things. Obviously you experience life from different perspectives. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people haven't experienced that perspective. So, obviously I know you personally, so it's different. Yeah. You know what I mean? And me and him, we've been through certain things together, so it's different. We have a certain type of understanding of each other, for each other. And it's different for, let's say, somebody on a camera. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, as far as economic relevancy, you know what I'm saying? I said that right? Because, you know, my Mobcast be killing me about my pronunciation. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You be like, yo, bro, you be trying to sound like T.I. or some shit. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, no funny shit real quick. Just being serious and getting straight to the knowledge so I can let you go. You know what I'm saying? Really? Economic relevance in America, per se. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, we spend the most, but we don't get the most. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, when we trying to build our wealth, because wealth is power, because wealth moves people. You know what I'm saying? And obviously with the wealth, that's our legacy. You know what I'm saying? That's a part of our legacy anyway. You know what I mean? There's a lot of variables to that. So with our wealth, you know what I mean? Just building that mental fortitude to acquire wealth. You know what I'm saying? What are some of the biggest, I would say, I'm not even going to say that because there's so many. I don't know if you would even want to go into that. But if you do, go ahead. What are some of the most relevant ways to acquire large sums of wealth so we can compete appropriately?
Who you here to compete with, bro?
You know what I'm saying? Well, I mean, as far as wealth is concerned,
we ain't gotta compete, bro.
But let me lay it down for you, right? As far as wealth is concerned, wealth moves politics per se, right? So when you talk about, when I say competitive nature, I more so mean put ourselves in a place where we're relevant in the political atmosphere. That's more so the competition, I guess. So, or however way you want to say it, and that's for you to clarify from your point of view. You know what I'm saying? So how is it that we can make ourselves relevant or compete or not, or whatever you want to call it, in the political nature of this country? Because look, you just seen that.
Let me answer the question, man.
Right. Hold on. Let me give it to you though. Let me give it to you. We just seen that Trump was impeached. You know what I'm saying? Now, how does that affect us?
He was impeached?
Well, today he was impeached.
Stuff, man.
Well, that's what they say. That's what they
I
say.
don't watch the news,
so go ahead and go into that as far as like the economic relevancy and how do we make ourselves relevant in the politics of today, tomorrow, and beyond.
From the political standpoint?
Economically, so we can compete, so we can be competitive politically.
We gotta come together as one first. You got too much people. You got one group of people, they Israelites, another people, they Christians. You gotta come together as one first. I don't see that happening. For the 2-3 people who grasp the message, you lean up, you stay with the people that believe in you. Get rid of those people who don't believe in you. Just keep yourself around those who won't believe in you. And those who got the bread to put it up with you. You got to be able to put the bread up yourself too. Real shit. And surround yourself around people who believe in you. You'll be fine. Because all this other stuff, a lot of people is a bunch of dead weight. You're sitting there, you revealing your hand, you're showing your hand. These are the same people, they're not even going to keep up with you. They're not even going to do no work with you. They're going to turn around one day and be like, yo, can I hold something? Or, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know what I'm saying? But they never participate with the work. You see, now when it's solidarity, when everybody understands there's a common denominator, we don't have these situations. You know what I'm saying? So now we can move the money around effectively. Like, for example, like Bill Gates will get like $1 trillion, and then he'll just donate 5% to like thousands of companies, and that 5% is a tax write-off. And that's the companies that received it get the write-off. And that's just writing on a piece of paperwork. Like, yo, all right, 5% of my trillion, 5% of my trillion, 5% of my trillion. You put it in a little banking statement and send it off, and everybody sign it off. All right, that's that. But they could do that. They stick together. You know what I'm saying? So, we've been having this conversation for a while, but once again, for the 2-3 people who understand this, you get around the people who love you, who believe in your work, who believe in your craft, you know what I'm saying? And they're gonna put the bread up with you. That's what it's all about. A lot of these other cats is just a bunch of dead weight, to be honest with you. Especially out here in New York, everywhere particularly, but New York, a bunch of simple-minded cats out here.
What makes New York different from other places in America? As far
They
as
too competitive out here. Out here is rugged individualism. I go to different states, they practice communal economics. That's group economics.
Group economics.
From North Carolina, South Carolina, Orlando, Georgia. They practice group economics. New York, they want to compete. Dude will cut you off just to run the red light. You get what I'm saying? That's how it's a beautiful thing when you leave. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people is more yielding. You know what I'm saying? Over here, the same people want to debate against you. You know what I'm saying? And argue you down. You know what I'm saying? And they're not really, and they simple-minded. They're not really doing much. You know what I'm saying? It's like a lot of cats out here is content with mediocrity. And this is the only city that's okay for you not to own. Okay, you can take the bus or the train, and it's okay for you not to drive. But nah, that's not cool. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of cats out here, it's 40, man, you don't own no properties, man. 50, you don't own no properties, man. That don't make me feel good, man. And I'd be damn to sell for mediocrity. So I get around people, we try to and I shed my hand. Certain things I don't say. I be having a plan on deck. You feel me? But a lot of these cats don't believe in me, because if they did, we'd be doing the work. You know what I'm saying? So I came up with ideas to make it rock myself. You know what I'm saying? And then, and once then it comes to a certain handful of people. And then we all do the master plan. So I'll give you an example. Like, I told this to a couple people, but, You know, and then sometimes they want to throw it in my face, so I don't show my hand again. But I'm gonna share this with the world. I got 10 companies, right? Let's say I pay myself with these 10 companies, 20,000, 20,000, 20,000. That's 200,000. I pay myself. So I report the income, show the whatchamacallit. Now, when I do my part now, that's a 6-figure return of 20,000 from one entity. 20,000. So you create 10 of them. 20 times 10, 200,000. You saying? I do the part, boom, 6-figure return. Easy. Easy. Entrepreneur. Easy.
Right.
Easy. Everybody could be set up this way. You know what I'm saying? But everybody keep taking their own individual routes. So I'm not going to be holding people's hand. So I take my route. So you know what? I set up my 10 companies already. It's lit. You see what you already see this paperwork. It's game time. So you know I've been doing a lot of work. Like the amount of time that I put sharing information personally, it could have went to doing other things. Now I don't share information. So a lot of my people's like, yo, you never taught me. You don't see what? You talking since 2013. What you mean I haven't talked? Well, this is deeper than just them.
Right.
But it's universal. Like we have, man. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has different skill sets. You know what I'm saying? There's something that you could do that I don't know how to do. You get what I'm saying? But there might be someone that I know that can help you get there. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're looking for prominence. I might know someone that could get you to that prominence.
Right, true indeed.
Same thing with me. You might know someone that can help me get the prominence. We all we have. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I deal with people from different nationalities. You know how we do. We people's person. Everybody love us.
Right.
And then you see how they share, whatchamacallit. And then you come to New York, yo, it's like we hate each other. Like the women, the chicks, all they do is stay on their phone. yo, I'm flea, bro. Yo, man, you single. Like, no, you ain't got you probably in an in and out relationship. Yo, come on.
Right.
Cut it out, man. You on your phone. That's what I mean by simple-mindedness. You feel me? It's like we too distracted. You know what I'm saying? And the only thing people care about, not everybody, but for the most part, it's like fashion, entertainment. A bunch of fashionistas, divas out here. Niggas too. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I spread love though. I show love, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm never gonna give up on black people. You feel what I'm saying? But
Right.
it's about you taking what you know and stick to doing it. Like, if I'm studying up on accounting, I'm not gonna read up on some, eBay shit. It doesn't have to pertain to what I'm about to go do. It's either I did it or I'm about to do it. So I might look up some shit or it's lit. Sometimes I just crash on it. I gotta learn the hard way. I'm hard-headed. Everybody know me. I'm stubborn and hard-headed. But I gotta learn. You know what I'm saying? But at least I'm able to climb. I'm a mountain climber, so I share mountain climbing experience. Because if it worked for me, it could work for you. You know what I'm saying? And you know how it is. But
Right.
But as far as being, once we able to come together to that standpoint, then we can make a political disposition where, confronting the Board of Ed, telling them take certain stuff off the teachings, and reintroduce a different format of the teaching, because obviously what they teach in the Board of Ed don't work, and they don't even care. And
think they do that on purpose?
Yeah, it's done on purpose.
Yeah, of course. All right.
Then prison reform, you gotta knock off that element.
So
argument.
prison reform, as far as that, it's specifically we already
Waste
know.
of time. It's about mass incarceration.
Oh, you know that.
That's the subject matter. That's how it needs to be attacked. Like same way how Michelle Alexander explained it on the new Jim Crow.
New Jim Crow, yeah.
And I caught it. It's like everybody keep arguing prison reform. Reform what? Reform what? Prison reform? Yeah, we're gonna reform a prison in what way? No, it's not gonna work. It's about mass incarceration, because for the most part, you have 60 people in the housing unit, more than 45 blacks.
Right.
So you combine 45 and Latinos and stuff too, but Latinos is black. They don't understand. Sometimes they don't even know their history.
Right.
So, and then like 15 whites and 60 housing unit. That's considered as a lot to them. Sometimes it be from anywhere between 45 to 53 out of 60 in the housing unit.
Right.
Blacks.
Quick question, as far as that's concerned, when you talk about prison reform as opposed to abolishing prisons, period. When you take something away, people want something to replace
So
it.
you talking about abolishing the prison period?
No, that's the question for you. Abolishing prison reform and as opposed or versus abolishing the prison system or abolishing the judicial system, period.
I won't say abolishing the judicial. I look, rapos.
Right, we know that. But my question is, how would you maneuver that or change that system?
All right, so this is how I'll do it. All right, I'm not even gonna hold my tongue. Look, if it was up to me, it wouldn't be no 1 to 3s.
Okay.
All right, and if somebody wants to get a 1 to 3, they go into a max first, and
Okay.
then bring them down to a medium. No minimums. All
Maximum
minimums shut down.
security,
right
minimum
from the
security.
gateway, from max or to like a upper echelon disciplinary medium. But from a max 6 months, bring them down to a disciplinary medium. But not where things happen at. You know what I'm saying? Because people think shit is sweet in the mediums, but it's not.
Right.
But I would say that because today, somebody get a 1 to 3, you put him in a little schmedium. He never learned no better. He come home, it never really hit him. It didn't really hit him. So he's liable to do another. He got another bid waiting for him. It didn't really hit him. That's why if it's up to me, no 1 to 3s. Minimum 5 years, you're going straight behind the wall. You're going to do 2 years there, you're going to come right back down. Ain't going to be none of that. You know what I'm saying? Because I had to learn it the hard way.
Right. Sure indeed. Oh, the live went off, by the way. Sorry for the live.
You know what I'm saying?
But,
So we gotta learn it the hard way. You know what I'm saying? So because prison is also an educational institute. It's a place. It is what you want it to be.
Right.
Like you get your mind right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Pataki them eliminated certain things where people was getting college diplomas for free.
Yeah. And they was getting trades up there.
Yeah, they stopped that. You can still get trades, but
Particular
they water
trades.
it down. They water it down.
Yeah.
But before you was getting your college degrees for free. So a lot of people was coming home and they wasn't going back to prison.
Right.
But Pataki was like, nah, we got to create recidivism. Because remember, it's a new banking policy coming in with these court cases, like how we explained earlier. Because the docket number on the court case, there's an account number. I'm telling you what they do into their accounts. You know, they'll tell you got to pay some fees and all that stuff. And then, like I tell you, every time you pay a fee with the court, within like 72 hours, go back to the courthouse, go to the court clerk, tell them you want a copy of the case. So sometimes you get the original amount of the case. Like I just cleared something with the driver's license, $606 in fees. The court cost is $3,505. That's tax credits, bro. So when you're not to write it off, you know what I'm saying? My dollar amount of the case is really $3,000, but I paid $600 for that credit.
Right.
You know I'm gonna write that off. You know what I'm saying? But so now when you get that ticket now, all that's going into a trust fund. So now if I take your name and there's a dollar amount involved and I put it in a trust fund and I'm capitalizing, you have equitable rights to that because that's equity. That's what equity is for. All right, yeah. You got $1 million sitting there. Okay, I have 20% to that. That 20% is your equity. That's like shares. Shares based on equity. Percentages. That's your equity. You have entitled to that right. You know what I'm saying? So judges in them, I'm telling you, the court system is dirty because they're using that equity thing to use that money to put themselves in vacation.
Yeah, to maneuver their own situation.
Penal bonds.
Right.
Penal bonds.
So as far as like, you know what's crazy about that? As far as the economics in the prison system, a lot of people don't know that. You know what I'm saying? How money moves in prison, or money, you're the cash cow for these prisons. So as far as reform per se, is that even the right adjective to use for what you explaining or how you explaining it?
Nah, reform as far as a solution.
As far as solutions, you know what I'm saying?
I would say to pretty much end the mass incarceration.
Right, mass.
That's the issue, mass incarceration.
But you know how that go as far as that's concerned, because there's so much money.
Nah, the problem is the lawyers are in on it. Anytime you hire a lawyer, you go into jail.
You
lose the case.
mean an actual
Lawyers,
right?
The lawyers. Once you have a lawyer, you're gonna lose the case. The lawyers are part of the scam. How you got the judge? He's a barrister. The prosecutor is a barrister, and your attorney is a barrister. They all bar registered. Before the judge became a judge, he had to
be an attorney, run through that whole system. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Attorney means to turn you over. Mm-hmm. It's 3-on-1 in the courtroom. See, when I had my success, I went on against all three of them. Mm-hmm. You understand? So there's certain subject matters you got to understand how to hit them, because one, we're not at the proper venue. Two, they trying to take possession of who you are, your person. So that's in personam. Mm. And then they lack subject matter. So it's venue, in personam, subject matter. So once you have a lawyer, they're gonna put you into concurrent jurisdiction, because the lawyer's gonna say, okay, go for the discovery and stuff. So you're gonna be put in an arguing situation, but you're not really dealing with the main issue at hand. Guilty or not guilty. Not guilty means you're not paying the bill.
Right.
And yes, like for drug dealers is really in jail for prison for tax evasion.
Say that shit again.
So what
bro,
happens,
hold on.
No, let me go. So what happens is the drug dealer is convicted for tax evasion.
Right.
That's why they set up these programs. Opioid crisis. So they get a bond. I mean, not even a bond, a government grant on the program. So the government grant program. So you got these precincts, police agencies set up these subterranean agencies, like Long Island got something called BSO. So they got these grant programs, but they job to kidnap us for a drug sale. Anything appertaining to drugs. Clinton did some stuff too.
Yeah.
So when you're convicted for a drug sale, you can't even get financial aid on the colleges
and shit.
To kick you out the projects. Clinton did a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah.
So the drug dealer is being penalized like this. So he gets caught with the work. So you either get hit with possession or the sale. But they're gonna add extra charges. We're gonna get to that later. So they hit him with the sale. So they're gonna take the mark money and all that stuff. They're gonna do their backdoor research because they got their hands on the game too. Because how would they know how much to charge you for crack, cocaine, and heroin? If it's a level 3 drug, everybody get the same time on level 3 drugs. While you compartmentalize amongst the drugs. That means they got their hands inside in the streets too. Because the FBI was a agency that was used to watch the government people who worked as civil servants. So when the civil servants went into the street, the FBI went into the street. That's why people still catch Fed cases now, because you got government agents that's working in the street. So the tax delinquent drug dealer will get jabbed up in the street. So they tally up, say, yeah, like Noriega, he made like $2 million a word, okay. So then that $2 million is the bill. You're saying he's a tax delinquent, he owes that. That's when they start freezing your assets and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
They freeze you on the taxes from the $2 million, or they freeze you because you made $2 million per se?
Because you made $2 million and you didn't report it as
income. You report it as income,
yeah. Tax evasion. And you're hoarding money too. You're hoarding money. So anytime you got anything above 10,000, money's supposed to be kept in circulation.
Right.
So when you got shoe boxes over 10,000, that's a crime, bro. That's a federal crime. That's a federal offense.
Yeah, one of the questions, not to interrupt the thought, but one of the questions that was posed before the live went off was about as far as when it came into prison reform per se, and the person asked, as far as when you go through the system and you get a specific amount of time, does the years equal a certain type of dollar amount? Like certain years equal a dollar amount? You know what I'm trying to tell you?
Everybody's situation is different, yeah.
Right.
And they collecting equity too.
Equity of each year, or equity of a certain
For
number?
each inmate. Each inmate got an account number. The DIN number, the inmate ID number, booking case, whatever, that's an account number. So when we send the money to them, Western Union, boom, they don't have the bank. Whose bank is it? It's the facility bank, business banking account. So their bank is the middleman.
Right.
So they collecting all the equity. So if we send $1,000 to our person's account, all right, he don't have the $1,000 at hand. He'll have access to spend it at commissary. But where does that $1,000 sit? Inside their account. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and it's a trust account too, because now they call it inmate trust account.
Yeah, so they're making all types of money on your shit.
That's they're collecting all the equity.
Interest and equity and shit. Right. So we got a little time left. So you know, like I said, if you want to learn more about specific moves that are needed to maneuver yourself into specific places, you need to go see the guard, Sergio David.
I'm gonna put some more information out there too, bro.
Yeah. And we're gonna put your information on the
Yeah.
on the description.
Yeah.
And we also gonna put your information attached to
Yeah.
to this bill.
You know how to do it, yeah. You know how to do it.
True indeed. So
Let me drop something out there.
yeah, I was just about to say before we go.
Let me drop something out there.
Yeah.
For those of us whose parents, if you really want the benefit for your children, send your kids to law school or anything dealing with finance. I'm gonna tell you why. Those 12 years is all gonna add up, especially if you're looking for money or more than just money, just someone who's gonna be in a position that's gonna extend what's gonna happen within the next generations. But this is what happens. You know, one time me and my friends was having a discussion, but they was discussing first on my college is bullshit, et cetera, et cetera. So I happened to come in. I ain't even chime in and like college is bullshit. You know, people going to college, spending all this money and they got all this debt. So I said, yo, listen, bro. You know. So I didn't mention nothing about accounting. I said it from a paralegal standpoint. I said, yo, paralegals get paid 63 to 85. If I was to connect with a law firm, I could be the top paralegal. I'm getting over 100 and change. Yo, all you probably need is a bachelor's or maybe a 2-year degree to get paralegal law.
Yeah, big fact.
I say, yo, if you do 12 years law, right? And let's say in your first year, I told a few people this, you become a civil attorney. And you work in a private. You got 3 clients. $1 million. $3 million settlement, you got your 33%. However, you cashed out. Your $1 million right there. You just cashed out easy on your first year graduating law school.
Right.
You're not gonna get that as a doctor. Doctor, you're gonna be a slave to the hospital, owing all types of taxes and stuff. They're gonna be taking so much money out your check, you're gonna freak around, grow gray hairs too soon. But in Eastern law, there's no limit to how much money you could get, bro. No limit.
If you know how to apply it appropriately.
Bro, you see, I just said that one example. You graduate law school, like say suppose you got a connection, you go private. Because some of them, they get, like Cochran. When he graduated, you know, he had the finances, so they had him working as a prosecutor, Johnny Cochran. He put a lot of people in jail, but he woke up. That's why he became sharp. They had to get rid of him. But now let's say you got 10, that same example. You got 10 people a million. You made 10 million. And normally the lawyers, when somebody settles out in the lawsuit, they pay the lawyer first, and then the lawyer cut the party a check. Right. So you already, you know what I'm saying? So you cutting them they million. So you already got your 33% when you cut them, whatchamacallit. Come on, bro. That's 10 million your first year on 10 clients. Easy, bro. Of law school. Name a curriculum in college that's gonna get that. Name a curriculum in college that's gonna get you that. So what? All right, freak it. You can just clear your student loan right then and there. So be it. It is what it is. Name a curriculum in college that's gonna get you that. And when you deal with law, you got weapons. You know what I'm saying?
If you use it appropriately.
You know what I'm saying? You know how some of these people trying to run me off the road? If I ain't know how to do what I do in the private, you know what I'm saying? Like ever since I stopped using lawyers, nah, it works much better for me.
Right.
Because when you hire a lawyer, you're going to jail. You're gonna pay the fine. You know what I'm saying? You gotta tell them, nah. Because when you try to hire a lawyer, all you doing is saying I'm not competent enough to represent myself. So the judge looking at you like you're civil little more tools. And another unwritten rule, when you're black, Latino, and you're quoting some of this stuff in their courtroom, they're gonna send the wolves at you. So you gotta have cojones. You gotta have chutzpah. You know what I'm saying? It's not for everybody.
Definitely not for everybody.
But you know, this is life-changing information. This is pro bono work. You know, I hope 100 out of 100 catch on. But hopefully 100 out of 100 do. But for those, the 2 out of 3 who get it, let's get it. I ain't gonna waste your time, don't waste my time. Iron sharp as iron. Help me help you, I'm gonna help you help me. Best is yet to come.
Yeah. So with that being said, we definitely gonna sign out. So once again, we're gonna have his information up.
Love y'all.
For you to get at him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, good looking for getting me on the show too, bro.
Yeah,
You feel
most
me, bro?
definitely. Yo, listen. You know, it's funny how certain things will look, but love is is it comes off sometimes as, because obviously some of them are probably not used to force. You know what I'm saying? You know, power versus force, but it's all energy is love. So, you know what I'm saying? You definitely got to get with the God, Sergio David. You know what I'm saying? He's positioned me personally in my own life, you know what I'm saying, to take me out of particular financial situations. And he giving me a lot of knowledge personally off the air. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? This is definitely my dude. We're going to definitely have him back on the show. You know what I'm saying? On the podcast so he can build with us more.
Definitely.
So you already
we can
know.
just have a part 2.
Yeah, definitely a part 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Anytime, bro. Anytime you need me, man.
So you already
and
know.
I have more information. I bring more documents and, you know.
Yeah, all that good stuff. So we're going to have this information on deck.
Yeah.
So you already know. It's the God, DRU.
Huh.
You already know you're listening to the Mobcast. Peace.
Love y'all. You already know. Serge.